We got another one over. Because I bought all this stuff out here, man. I got all these books out here, but I was focusing on the Bulugh Maram. I wasn't. Hold on, man. You already started a live.
No.
Yours.
93? 92.
92?
Yeah. Page 60. Safe. You want to come with us to some on Friday? Can Safe come with us? We're going to go to some on Friday.
Go to where?
There's a place called Some, a bunch of Yemenis over there. Uh-oh. The
You
Yemenis
trying to get my son over there chewing cotton, backbiting people?
I don't know. We're going there, not to the masjid over there.
Yeah, one smoke shop.
Because there's a Yemeni family over there. They own a supermarket, right? Remember the brother who you met? He was talking to you about the situation in Saudi. He called me and he's saying there's a Catholic guy who wants to learn about Islam, but before that he has some doubts that he wants to get removed. And then he told me. So I'm saying we're all gonna go, all three of us, inshallah.
Tried to keep the book from dropping and then spilled the tea all over my hand.
You can fix it.
Under one condition.
Comes back Muslim.
Well, he comes back alive because you don't drive 3,000 miles per hour.
No.
Yeah, you keep it like around 60, 70 miles per hour. So.
60 no. 60 no.
So-
I'll drive so that way.
Heck no, you're not driving. No.
No, he's worse.
If you think I'm bad, or you haven't seen it, I'm a.
Who's the safest driver here? No, let him drive. Let him drive.
I need gas money though.
No, that's what's in Charlie we're using.
All right.
Next week.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. So this chapter right now, we're going to read this chapter and the chapter after it, because this chapter is all a hadith that we've already read. We've already passed by them earlier on in these chapters. So this is Bab Ma Yajibu Min Awn al-Malhuf. And what do we say about the Malhuf? What is he?
Oh, I thought we were doing David.
No, I said we'll start with the live stream first. Alright, Bab Ma Yajibu Min Awn al-Malhuf. Alright, Ma Yajib, obviously that comes from Wajaba, Yajibu. So Wajaba, so what is obligatory? Min Awn. Al-Awn, it comes from the word, what? A'ana. A'ana yu'inu i'anatin wa awnan. It means to assist. To assist somebody, to help somebody. Al-Malhuf, it can mean a person who's hazeen, a person who's sad, or a person who only has a lahaf, like he only has a small amount of food. How did they translate it with you?
What is necessary about helping someone in distress?
Helping somebody in distress. That would be under the meaning of hazeen. But it falls under both categories. A person who's in need, or is a person who is, he's in a state of anxiety and stress and things like that, and relieving whatever burden from that person and is causing that stress and problems. All right. So hadith number 305. حدثنا الأويسي قال حدثنا عبد الرحمن ابن أبي زناد عن أبيه أبوه أبو زناد obviously and عروة عن أبي مراوح عن أبي ذر رضي الله عنه سئل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أي الأعمال خير قال إيمان بالله وجهاد في سبيل الله قال فأي الرقاب أفضل قال أغلاها ثمنا وأنفسها عند أهلها قال فرأيت أن لم أستطيع بعض العمل قال تعين الضاعيان. Alright, in another narration we talked about this صانعا أو تصنع لأخرق قال فرأيت أن ضعفت قال تدع الناس من الشر فإنها صدقة تصدقها على نفسك. So here we have the hadith of Abi Dhar. Alright, and he said سئل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So سئل, it means from سأل يسأل سؤالا. Alright, so it means that he was asked, because we say sa'ala yas'alu, to ask. Su'ila is like duriba, if a person is asked. And so the Prophet ﷺ was asked, ayyul a'mali khair. Alright, khairun here is what?
Greater.
Yeah, what are the best of actions? This is from the sighat at-tafdil, like, this is hasan, or this is ahsan. But khair, you could say akhyar, or you just say khairun, like khairun wa shar. هذا خير منه, هذا شر منه. Or you don't need to say هذا أشر منه, but you can just say هذا شر منه. Alright, so he said, which are the best of actions? قال إيمان بالله. Alright, he said, an iman with Allah. And what did the Prophet ﷺ say iman was in the hadith of Jibril? For the give it to me.
You read the
I,
Sharh of 40 Nawawi Salih al-Fawzan.
Arabic or English, I don't care, but give it to me. What did he say the arkan of iman are?
Oh, the 6 pillars?
Yes.
Oh. See, now I'm under pressure. No.
Because I
I'm
personally
not, I don't know
taught
the order,
this.
though. I don't know the order.
Let's give him.
Belief in the Prophet, belief in the angels,
Well, who sent the Prophet?
belief in Allah.
Yeah, let's start with him first. You know?
I told you, it's not going to be in order. It's just
I know, but I mean, you know,
They come to my brain.
you're like mentioning all the creation. Let's start with the Creator first. All right, so
Belief in Allah, belief in the Prophet, the angels, the Day of Judgment, the Revelation, or the Quran, and Allah's cover.
and what did you miss?
I don't know.
You missed something. Say it again.
Oh yeah, you did. You said it. I'll tell you. I'll give you a hint. In Surah Al-Fatiha. Maliki.
No, he mentioned it. He mentioned the Day of Judgment.
Oh, I didn't hear.
I didn't. Go.
Allah, the Prophet, Muhammad, the angels, the Day of Judgment, the Quran, and the.
So we only have belief. So Iman is only belief in the Prophet Muhammad only?
All the prophets.
All the prophets. Yeah. And what?
And so that's what did I say? Quran. The Quran.
No, not just the Quran.
I said the Revelation.
Yeah, like all the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the books that were sent down.
Okay, Jude.
Yeah.
All right. You tell the pillars of Islam.
It's a belief in Allah, the messengers of Allah, such as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Isa alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, and then the books, the Quran, the Injil, the Zabur, the Torah, the angels, the Day of Judgment, and the Qadr of Allah,
Yeah, you don't need the good and the bad.
and the good and the bad.
You don't need to mention the names of the books because all of these things with the malaika, the iman is what? Jumlatan wash. Jumlatan wa tafsila. Jumlatan what?
Jumlatan, like in one.
All of them, whether we know them or don't know them, because obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created so many malaika, we'd never know. But tafsilan, the ones that we know, the ones that were named in the Quran and the Sunnah, we believe in them with tafsil, like specifically either one, they were named, or two, the action of what they do. Like for example, like you have Malik al-Maut, you have
The angel of the mountain.
the angel of the mountain. You have the hadith that we mentioned previously, the hadith of Abi Hurairah, inna lillahi malaikatun sayyaratan fudla, So these they go around for the majalis of dhikr. So these we believe in specifically with tafsil. But then we have a whole lot of other malaika that we believe in, and also about the two angels in the grave, right? We know their actions, but we don't know their name, right?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I remember when I said it.
Yeah. The name Munkar and Nakir is like غير ثابت. Right? It didn't come in any narration that's authentic. So, but the two angels in the grave, yes. I mean, because in all the authentic hadith about the angels in the grave that ask the questions, their names are not mentioned in the authentic narrations. So to say that they're Munkar and Nakir is not Thabit. All right.
I said pillars of Islam.
Hmm?
Pillars of Islam.
I know, I heard you, but let him say what he had. Yeah. All right. So that's all right. So that's the first part. Imanum billah. All right. With jihadun fi sabilihi, and fighting in the path of Allah, because obviously you can't fight, in the path of Allah if you don't have belief in Allah. So obviously that's the prerequisite. قال فأي الرقاب أفضل. So those are the best two actions. Imam, and here, what is the shahid from this hadith? There's a beautiful shahid right here. Beautiful shahid. It goes back to a refutation of the Murji'ah. What is it? What is the refutation here?
Iman is not just on the heart.
Yeah, because here, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Ayyul a'mali khair. What are the best of all actions? And the first thing that he mentioned was imanun billah. Because imanun billah, as the ulama have mentioned before, if it's mentioned alone, yadkhulu fihi al-islam. So, so yadkhulu fihi al-a'mal dhahira wa al-batina. So again, we know that Islam is what? أن تشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله وتقيم الصلاة وتؤتي الزكاة وتصوم رمضان وتحج البيت إن استطعت إليه سبيلا. So those are the pillars of Islam, the outward actions. And then we have the iman billahi wa malaikati wa kutubi wa rusuli wa yawm al-akhir wal iman bil qadri khayri wa sharrihi, which are the inner actions of the heart. So he's gonna go crazy. Somehow this fly got in his house, and he cannot relax with a fly in the house.
Got the cat crack too.
That's the only reason why he's probably calm, because normally he'll chase that fly down until he kills it. He's gonna go crazy. Watch. So inshallah he gets it. I'm sitting there thinking like, how you gonna get that fly? He kills it. I don't know how. Yeah, he gets it. And boom. I'm like, you did it, man.
Did he eat it?
Huh?
Did he eat it?
Yeah. You saw me there.
And pest control.
Yeah. That's why we don't see that many flies in here, because everyone that comes in, he kills it.
Roaches too.
Huh?
Roaches too. They eat roaches. Cats eat roaches.
I don't think we never had a roach in here.
Oh yeah, rats too.
No.
Bird.
Ants, yeah. Like, oh my God, in the summer, this whole area, we couldn't sit here.
Too many birds.
Oh, ants.
Yeah.
Fire ants. This whole house was just ants, Akhi.
Same size as that.
We were eating. That's why I kept having to cancel the class, Akhi. We
Oh
were
yeah, I
eating
remember
up.
that.
Yeah, it was getting eaten up all over my whole body, man. Yeah. And finally, we put that poison down, and then, alhamdulillah, they disappeared. Yeah, but and we started sealing up like a lot of the gaps in the floor and stuff. But anyways, back to this. So when we talk about iman by itself, yadkhulu fihi al-islam. But if you speak about Islam and iman together, you say Islam and iman. So then Islam is dealing with the what? Al-a'mal al-zahira. And the iman is dealing with what? The a'mal al-batina. Alright, all the things of the heart. But here, because he said imanun billah, so it includes all the actions. All of the actions of Islam fall under iman, because they all fall under Islam. And there's no Islam if there's no iman. So they go together. Alright, then after that he said, قَالَ فَأَيُّ الرِّقَابِ أَفْضَلُ. And he said, which of the, and he's talking about, because obviously if you're going to free a slave, what is the best, what is the best slave to free? He said, أَغْلَاهَا ثَمَنًا وَأَنْفَسُهَا عِنْدَ أَهْلِهَا. Alright, so he said, أَغْلَاهَا ثَمَنًا. He said the most expensive. The most expensive, وَأَنْفَسُهَا عِنْدَ أَهْلِهَا. Alright, which is أَنْفَسُهَا and أَنْفَعُهَا. That he is the most beneficial. So you're not going to sit there and free the sick guy or the guy who can't work or the guy, no, but you go and the person who is the most beneficial, you free him. That's what he's saying. All right, وَأَنْفَسُهَا, it means أَنْفَعُهَا. And we use this a lot with the word, like you hear the ulama say, هَذَا كِتَابٌ نَفِيسٌ. هَذَا كِتَابٌ نَفِيسٌ. All right, عند أهلها. قال أفرأيت أن لم أستطع بعض العمل. He said, what do you say if I'm not able to do some amal? Maybe because he gets older, he gets sicker, or maybe he's got problems in his body, so he just doesn't have the strength to do a lot of actions. He said, قال تعين ضاعيا أو تصنع لأخرق. He said, تعين ضاعيا. What did we say ضاعيا means? And previously, we already discussed this, and this is from hadith number 220. ضاعيا means فقيرا. Alright, تعين ضاعيا. Alright, to assist a person who's in need, who doesn't find the needs that he has to meet what he has to, to support his family, support himself. أو تصنع لأخرق. أو تصنع لأخرق, and الأخرق الذي لا يحسن عمله أو صنعته. You're looking at it. Wait. So the one who doesn't, he's not able to, he just, he's slow a bit, so he's not able to do his work properly. So you go and you help him to do the work properly, because he's just not able to. he's trying to do something and you see he can't do it, so you go and you help him. You help him do it. All right. So then he said, what? After that, he said, قال أفرأيت إن ضعفت. He said, do you not see what about if I become very weak? قال تدع الناس من الشر. He said, then leave protect the people and leave the people away from your evil. فإنها صدقة تصدقها على نفسك. Alright, تصدقها على نفسك. Alright, so he said, leave the people from your evil, because that is charity that you can give as charity to the people by protecting them and leaving them away from your evil. So mashallah, but these days we get the opposite of that sadaqah. We get the evil of the people. We don't get, so along this time. They just give us the evil. Uh-oh. He's going to get it. Wait, did he get it? No, he didn't get it. But that was close, though.
Mm-hmm.
That was real close.
Cats they have faster reflexes than snakes.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously,
Obviously.
snake reflexes.
And he have faster than flies also. But all right, man. Stop watching the cat, man. He'll get it. Don't worry. All right, so hadith number 306. حدثنا حفص بن عمر قال حدثنا شعبة قال أخبرني سعيد بن أبي بردة سمعت أبي يحدث عن جدي عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال على كل مسلم صدقة قال فرأيت إن لم يجد قال فليعمل فلينفع نفسه وليتصدق قال فرأيت إن لم يستطع أو لم يفعل قال ليعن ذا الحاجة الملهوف قال فرأيت إن لم يستطع أو لم يفعل قال فيأمر بالمعروف قال فرأيت إن لم يستطع أو لم يفعل قال يمسك عن الشر فإنها له صدقة. So this hadith is an Abi Burda al-Aslami. All right. He said, "Ala kulli Muslimin sadaqah." So the Prophet ﷺ said, for every single Muslim, it's upon him, to give charity. We see this in the hadith of who? What's the hadith?
What is it?
على كل سلامة من الناس صدقة كل يوم تطلع فيه الشمس. So على كل سلامة. كل what? What is a salama? Yeah, every mafsal. Every joint of the body, you have to give charity for that joint. For every single day. Every day that you wake up. So this is an incumbent in binding charity. In the hadith of Abu Hurairah, I believe it was Abu Hurairah. Check it, inshallah. Because the hadith of Aisha, radiallahu anha, she actually numbered the number of the mafasal, the number of joints, but I believe it was in the hadith of Abu Hurairah, where he said, about the Salatul Duha. It's enough to do, but check it, inshallah. I think the actual hadith is Abu Dhar. It's all in, check it in daily hadith. We'll come back to it. All right. So he said, "Ala kulli Muslimin sadaqa." Every Muslim is incumbent upon him to give sadaqah every day. Qala afara'ayta in lam yajid. He said, what if the person doesn't find to give anything? Qala falyamal falyanfa' nafsahu. He said, then he should go out and work and benefit himself. Waliyatasaddaq, and then he can give in charity. Qala afara'ayta in lam yastati'. And he said to you, what about the person who's not able to go out and work? Aw lam yaf'al, or he just doesn't do it. Qala liy'in dhal hajati al-malhuf. And let him help a person who's in need, who's malhuf, who's a person in distress, a person in a state of anxiety, person who's whatever, or just poor, and not able to help himself. قال فرأيت أن لم يستطيع. And what about if he can't do that? أو لم يفعل, or he doesn't do that? قال فليأمر بالمعروف. Then let him command with good. Let him go out and just tell the people to obey Allah and command the good. قال فرأيت أن لم يستطيع. And he said, what about if he can't do that? أو لم يفعل, or he doesn't do that? قال يمسك عن الشر فإنها له صدقة. He said, then let him stay away from evil, and that will be from him sadaqah, because he protects the people from his evil. So like I said, both of these hadiths we previously taken them. One we took it 220, the other one is 226. Alright, so go to the next chapter. Chapter 144. Bab Man da'a Allah an yuhassina khulaqahu. Now this is also, we've taken a chapter similar to this, where we talked about the dua for husnul khulaq, which is what?
what is it? الحديث أبي ذر الغفاري.
What's the hadith?
اللهم أنت أحسنت خلقي فأحسن خلقي.
Yeah, كما أنت أحسنت خلقي فأحسن خلقي. Yeah. Oh, that's some good green tea right there. That right there is called dragon pearls.
Dragon Pearl.
I don't know what it's called in Chinese, man, but it's called dragon pearls. They take a green tea leaf and a piece of jasmine, and they roll it up into this. It becomes like this big ball, and then when you put it in the water, it opens up.
Really? That was in that cup?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Made
what.
made in China? Made in China?
Yeah. Made in China.
Telegram.
No, but this is the good stuff that China makes.
Thanks, Jimmy.
My good friends.
It's not the stuff that they send to us. That's not the good stuff. But yeah, this is it. All right. So bab man da'a Allah an yuhassina khuluqahu. So this is for the person who makes du'a that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perfect his character. All right, that he perfects his character. All right. Hadathana Muhammad ibn. Here we go again. What do we talk about this? Muhammad ibn Salam or Muhammad ibn Salam? Which one is it? Huh? بالتشديد or بدون التشديد? Oh, we benefit nothing, man. No, بدون التشديد. Muhammad ibn Salam. Shaykh al-Bukhari is Muhammad ibn Salam. Muhammad ibn Salam is a mistake. And that's why he keeps doing it in this book. All right, he shouldn't have gotten his. If he got his master's degree because of this tahqiq, they should give it, like take it back. Yeah, like now you got to go correct your book first. All right, قال أخبرنا مروان ابن معاوية القزاري عن عبد الرحمن ابن زياد ابن عنعم ضعيف. ها؟
القزاري.
القزاري.
الفزاري.
Oh, Fazari. Sorry. I'm tired, man. Yeah. All right, Al-Fazari. You're right. عن عبد الرحمن ابن زياد ابن عنعم ضعيف من قبل حفظه. He has weak memory. And he narrates عن عبد الرحمن ابن رافع التنوخي ضعيف من قبل حفظه. So two people that are weak in their memory narrating from each other. Now there are other chains of narrations with this hadith, but they have both either one of these two in them. So the hadith itself is ضعيف. عن عبد الله بن عمرو رضي الله عنهما أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يكثر أن يدعو اللهم إني أسألك الصحة والعفة والأمانة وحسن الخلق والرضا بالقدر. All right, beautiful dua. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a person taking the dua, memorizing it, and making dua with it. It's a beautiful dua. So here, according to this hadith, Abdullah ibn Amr, he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reported to have said, كان يكثر أن يدعو. What does that mean? كان يكثر أن يدعو. Come on, you guys that are studying Arabic, what is it? إكثار, يكثر, كان يكثر. Come on, just think, man. Kathir. What does kathir mean?
Big. No, that's kabir. That's kabir.
Yeah. Kathir means a lot.
Oh, a lot.
So yukthiru akthara min shay, it means to do it
Very much.
a lot.
Very much,
Yeah, to
okay.
do it a lot, yeah. Because if you say, oh yeah, can I do? Whatever, ta'am kathir, like he had a lot of food, ta'am kathir. But you say, kana yukthir min akal ta'am, that he used to eat a lot of food. He used to eat a lot of food, like you kitty crackhead. Kitty crackhead.
Food, crack, and flies. That's his diet.
He's chilling tonight though, man.
His eyes are everywhere tonight.
Because he's looking for that fly. Did he get it?
No, he didn't. I think he just pressed the fly. Once he patted him, I think that fly just ran off.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not testing him again. He'll be back though.
Yeah.
All right, so he said, "Kana yukthiru and yadua." So he used to, do this, to make this dua a lot. Allahumma inni as'aluka. So, oh Allah, I ask you, as-sihhata. As-sihha, what?
Good health.
Good health. Wal-'iffa.
Chastity.
Well, al-'iffa, it has two things that it has, that it means. So it's called تطلق على العفة يعني في في البدن, called, well, no, that's not عفة, I'm sorry, that's عافية. العفة called يعني يطلق على إيش يعني العفة فيما أيدي الناس, like what you say, like you don't have any desire with what the people have, like they have all these riches, they have the nice cars, they have all this, but you have no, there's nothing in yourself that you want this. So al-'iffa fima aidi nas. And then you can also say al-'iffa fi ish an al-shahawat al-muharrama, that you have this 'iffa, like this modesty of staying away from, that keeps you away from the desires that are sinful desires, and al-fawahish, and despicable acts. So the 'iffa keeps you away from wanting the wealth of the people and trying to get money that's haram, or get money, or to steal things that don't belong to you. And the 'iffa also, it keeps you from falling into these types of sins involving women, the sins of the desires. So it can mean both of those things. All right. He said, well, after that, he said, well, amana. And amana is what?
Oh, the man. Trustworthiness.
Yes, ada'ul haqqi li-ahlihi. So ada'ul haqq means to carry out, to give the rights to the people who are deserving of those rights. And that's a person of amana. Anytime that a person has a right over him, he carries out and maintains those rights, whatever it is, whether it's keeping family ties, whether it's supporting, keeping, the people that it's an obligation upon you to feed and clothe and do all these types of things for, and feed, also teach the deen too, because obviously we always talk about the physical stuff, like the clothing and the food, but we don't ever focus on the most important thing, which is teaching the kids the deen, and raising them up as Muslims. That's the most important obligation upon you. And if you haven't carried out that obligation, then what? You haven't fulfilled this amana. You not fulfilled your trust. So this is the most important trust. All right. But any other trust, if a person entrusts something to you, that you fulfill your obligation, you fulfill the trust, and you don't break the trust. He said, well, husnul khuluq. All right, which is what? Badal al-ma'ruf, right? Any type of ma'ruf, or doing any type of good, all the forms of good is all within the husn al-khuluq. وَالرِّضَى بِالْقَدْرِ, and which is what? To be pleased with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written. To be pleased with it. Alright? And because obviously there's nothing that you can change. And whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written is written. There's nothing that you can do about it. So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written it from wisdom. And it's not he didn't write bad things to befall you and trials and tribulations to befall you because he hates you. This is what you see from amongst the kuffar, where they have this type of belief, but he wrote those things for you because what? To test you, to bring you out stronger, huh? Yeah, because a lot of people, they wouldn't have become Muslim if they didn't go through these tragedies. The tragedies are what brought them to Islam. And then they get sidetracked with Islam, and then the tragedies bring them back to Islam. And that's why I said, like us as Muslims, we need wars, we need trials and tribulations, because that's the only thing that wakes us up. That's what brings us back to our senses. We don't function good in comfort. As Muslims, we don't. When we're comfortable, and we have money, and we have wealth, and we're cool, everything gets taken from us, and we become weaker. We don't function good in those times, but we function a lot better in times of tribulation and in times of, wars and things like that. Then you start to see the Islam start to come more out of the people. You start to see the masjid start to get fuller. You start to see, because now times of tribulations, so these things are good for us, whether we like it. I mean, obviously we're not, we find difficulties and all the types of things that we had to go through, You know, we lose a lot of brothers. We lost, you know, we had to, you know, leave a country that we love so much. You know, I've never loved a place like as much as I loved Yemen. And I never wanted to leave that country, but we had to leave it because of what was going on. And we were forced to leave. We had no choice. You know, and a lot of brothers had to leave, you know, leave these places just because what? But I mean, and we're not, you know, to say that, okay, I'm happy that I had to leave Yemen. I didn't want to ever leave Yemen. But am I happy that this is what, okay, Allah wrote this for a reason? I got to pray in the Haram. You know, I got to sit with different ulama and you know, in Saudi. I got to benefit, you know, alhamdulillah. It was beneficial. We spent the whole month of Ramadan in Mecca. I would have never done that if I was sitting in Yemen. You know, sit there in the Haram, you know, drinking Zamzam until we explode, and you know, so, and all the benefit. I got to go and take my 2 sons. Acid was too small at the time, but I got to take Saif and Mujahid, and we went and did Umrah together. You know, I would have never done that sitting in Yemen. So there's always, you know, there's trials and tribulations, but there's always a khair. You know, especially with the people that, and that's what we talked about. عجبا لأمر المؤمن إن أمره كله له خير وليس ذلك لأحد إلا للمؤمن إن أصابته سراء شكر فكان خيرا له وإن أصابته ضراء صبر فكان خيرا له. So at the very least, you know, at the very least with the mu'min, that he remains patient. You know, if you can't, like obviously being pleased with what Allah has written, like being pleased with these trials and tribulations, that's the highest iman that you could have in qadr. You know, but if you can't be to that level of being pleased with it, like literally smiling when the trial, like this is what Allah has written for me, I'm happy with it. You understand? So a lot of the people, they're not going to reach that level, but at the very least you go to the minimum level of what? إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُ ضَرَّاءُ صَبَرَ. So, yeah, just be patient.
Isn't it higher of being pleased to be thankful? Instead of being pleased, being thankful, isn't that higher? Isn't that the way with setup?
Well, if you're pleased with it, you're thankful. You know? So, I mean, that's like just to be pleased with it, that's a subhanAllah. You know, but I mean, at the very least, you be patient. And being patient means you keep your mouth shut. You don't complain. Once you complain, you're not patient. All right? So that's it. All right, so, الرضا بالقدر, and it goes back to also the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas, which is what?
إني أعلمكم كلمات احفظ الله يحفظك احفظ الله تجد تجاهك إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله واعلم أن الأمة لو اجتمعت على أن ينفعوك بشيء لم ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتب الله لك ولو اجتمعوا أن يضروك بشيء لم يضروك بشيء إلا قد كتب الله عليك رفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف
رفعت الأقلام
رفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف.
Yes, that's it. I mean, what's written is written. Even if all the people that come together to bring a benefit to you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not written, nothing will reach you. And if all the people come together to bring harm against you, nothing. I mean, look at Sheikh Mubin, rahimahullah. In his lifetime, yeah, they made his blood halal, the Rafidah. And they said whoever, they said like basically, like, you know, his blood, whoever can kill him, kill him. And they tried, they tried. But he died of a sickness in his liver in Mecca. After he made Hajj, they never got to him. And then we have other brothers that got killed. They got killed a lot. You know, a lot of brothers got killed. The Sheikh Yahya, they were bombing his house. They were trying to snipe him. They were trying to do everything to get rid of him, to kill him. All they wanted, the whole war in Damascus, they wanted Sheikh Yahya to stay quiet. Just stop talking about us. That was the condition. He said, that's the condition. I'll never stop talking. And he kept going off on him, and they kept trying to kill him, Alhamdulillah. And he's in Hadramaut, and they tried to kill him in Ma'arib, you know. Ended up killing some students there when they went and fought in Ma'arib. But still, you know, alhamdulillah, Allah protected them. So all of these people come together with all the weapons that they have, and they couldn't get them, you know, because Allah didn't write that. You know, not saying that it will never happen. If it happens, it happens, you know, but it's only because Allah wrote it, you know. And at the same time, we shouldn't be sad about that. You know, they killed a man who stood up and called to the Haqq. We hope Jannah for that man, you know.
You killed Anbiya.
Yeah. So I mean, all the brothers that got killed before, I mean, we have good hopes for them. Good hopes for them. They died as students of knowledge. They died in trying to stay away from the Bilal al-Kufar. So alhamdulillah. But just to be pleased and just know that whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written before you, وَلَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is never going to place a burden upon you harder than you can bear. As much as it's difficult with all the different, trials and tribulations, that whatever He's given you, He knows that you can handle it. So, handle it. And, but also constantly make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assist you, because there's nothing that we can do in this life without the assistance of Allah. And if we try to do it on our own, we're going to fail miserably. Miserably. You're not going to get through these trials and tribulations on your own. You're not independent. So the same one that put you through these trials and tribulations is the same one that's going to lift them up and remove them from you. That's it. And that's the one that you have to call on. That's the one that you got to complain to. All right, so hadith number 308. حدثنا عبد السلام قال حدثنا جعفر عن أبي عمران عن يزيد ابن بابنوس. Yazid ibn Babanus, he doesn't narrate except for Abi Imran. Alright. And some of the people, there's a difference about whether or not his hadith is accepted. He was a Shi'ian. He's from the Shia. Not the Rafidah. But, but he was he was known as a Shi'ian. But like I said, there's difference of opinion. But this hadith itself, even with this chain being weak, if the person takes the opinion that Yazid ibn Babanus is weak, which is a good opinion, a decent opinion, then still there's a shawahid for this hadith, inshallah. This hadith, we've taken it before. قال دخلنا على عائشة رضي الله عنها فقلنا يا أم المؤمنين ما كان خلق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قالت كان خلقه القرآن تقرؤون سورة المؤمنين قالت اقرأ قد أفلح المؤمنون قال يزيد فقرأت قد أفلح المؤمنون إلى قوله تعالى لفروجهم حافظون قالت كان خلق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. She said, all right, so this is Aisha رضي الله عنها. So they entered in where she was at, and they asked her, how was the character of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? She said, كان خلقه, like the character of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the Quran. And she said, do you recite Surah Al-Mu'mineen? Do you know it? And he said, قالت اقرأ قد أفلح المؤمنون. And she said, recite from this, قد أفلح المؤمنون. What does that mean? Huh?
What? So you guys can translate.
Successful indeed with believers.
Oh.
He's a cheater.
I was thinking of Surah Mu'minun. That's because that's how it starts off from the F.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Alright, so here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the qad here, which is for what? No, tahqiq. It's the qad hasal. So he's saying it like it's already happened. Alright, qad aflaha. Alright, this is for tahqiq. Because,
No.
What?
No.
No. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah. It's already happened. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. So the mu'minun, they have been successful. They're successful. خلاص. He's already saying this, even while they're still alive, before the day of judgment, because the iflah, if the person dies on that iman, خلاص. That's the, what's up?
No.
You want to say something?
No, I was saying, because isn't this also in the language in the Quran? When Allah mentions something about the future, doesn't he use the language of tahqiq?
No, this is a tahqiq of saying that this has already taken place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already given them, it's already written for them success. All the people that died on iman, that they're going to be the successful ones on the day of judgment. No question about it. Alright, this is muhaqqaq. Alright. So he said, قال يزيد فقرأت قد أفلح المؤمنون. So he says, so I recited it. إلى قوله تعالى لفروجهم حافظون. Those that protect their private parts. قالت كان خلق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And what is it? What's the rest of the stuff? What's the ayah? قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين إيش؟
No, في صلاة خاشعة.
الذين في صلاتهم خاشعون. What does that mean? No.
Those who like they.
الخشوع. That you go into the salat with a khushu'. What is that?
You have like fearful of Allah.
It's more than that. It's al-khudu' wa tadallul that comes from this fear of Allah. So you have that you go into the salat with a state of humility. In a state of humility, if you're going into this state of humility, and then obviously you're going to put all your focus and all your attention on what? On the salat. So you won't be distracted with other things. You won't be thinking about other things because you're going in to the salat with this real strong level of humility and lowliness. So you're focusing only on your salat. What is it? Huh? I got two today. I got one here, so.
I won't.
Okay. What?
No.
Huh?
شيء يعني هذا الخشب يعني كل الصيف بس.
It's probably a Tai Chi practitioner. Well, you heard like somebody moving wood around.
بس اسمه زي الخشب يعني هذا الصورة هذه زي يتحرك أو شيء.
That's my car.
He's shaking the
All right.
converter on.
Some bricks.
الذين في صلاتهم خاشعون. What?
الذين هم عن اللغو معرضون.
والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون. What does that mean?
When it comes to like evil, foul speech, isn't
No,
that
lagwi is a speech that has no benefit in it. Any type of speech that has no benefit. Mu'aridun. They avoid it. They shun it. They stay completely away from it. If they see people involved in useless talk and speech that has no benefit, they stay away from it. And we talked about this. We talked about in the last class about the people that stand up from a majalis alladhi la yadhkuru Allahu fi. قام مثل جيفة الحمار وكان لهم حصرا. All right. What's after that?
والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون.
All right. والذين هم لفروجهم
والذين للزكاة فاعلون.
No. والذين هم للزكاة
والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون.
فاعلون. So they give the zakat from their money. What else?
والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون.
والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم ما ملكت أيديهم أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين فمن ابتغى فأولئك هم. What is all right? So the people that protect their private parts, إلا على أزواجهم, except for their wives, ما ملكت أيمانهم, or for their right hand possessions, which obviously we don't have in America. All right. Because we're not in a war with anybody right now, so, or the right hand possessions. All right, but then after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَنْ إِبْتَغَى وَإِيش وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْعَادُونَ. And they're the transgressors, whoever seek other than this. So this shows that all of these acts are impermissible. Anything aside from what? The wife or the right hand possession. Any other fulfillment of sexual desires is haram. And that includes masturbation. That includes anything of that nature. All right, so this is the ayah, and I don't, which is a refutation of a Shawkani. Because, was it Shawkani? I think Shawkani used to see that the istimna yajuz. Yeah. Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, he used to say that if the person, if he sits for a very long time without releasing it, then he should get it out, because the buildup of that stuff, it stays in your body and it becomes facet. It starts to go bad, and then it causes you sickness and illness and weakness in the body.
Seriously?
Yeah. But normally the body, especially for the man, there's a natural release of that. You end up waking up one night from sleep and having to go take a shower. So yeah, so that's the body's natural release of getting that excess out.
When I mentioned about the law, isn't this the same meaning? سورة القصص وإذا سمعوا اللغو وعرضوا عنه وقالوا لنا أعمالنا ولكم أعمالكم سلام عليكم لا نبتغي الجاهلين. Is that what the same meaning?
Yeah, because look it up on Ma'ani.com or here. No, you don't. You read through the questions. Because I forgot you got the questions, so you can't. While I'm doing this, you can look for questions.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and find the questions because that hadith's finished. And we already took this before. Huh?
I got a question though.
Uh-oh.
So masturbation constitute a zina?
No.
Okay.
But it's haram.
It's haram.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Good.
What is the ruling eating and drinking, like lying down?
So this is a lagw as far as, sorry, I'll get back to that in a second. A lagw in the language, ما لا يعتد به من كلام وغيره ولا يحصل منه على فائدة ولا نفع. Alright, that's it. I mean, just any type of speech that doesn't bring about any type of benefit. Or, for anything. Yeah. Go ahead. What was the question again?
What is the ruling of eating or drinking, leaning or lying down?
It's not permissible. What, leaning?
Mm.
No, it's prohibited because the Prophet ﷺ says it. It's a hadith. It's in Bulugh al-Maram. Give me, who's got Bulugh al-Maram with him?
Eating blue, that's the blue one.
So I want to say the wording, but actually, mine was right here. I think I actually put it in the, probably be faster to find it in Daily Hadith. The Hadith is in there. Go to another question. I'll find it. So.
What about just sitting and not leaning?
Huh?
What about sitting and not leaning?
Yeah, just sit. That's fine. But when you're leaning and you're eating like that, because that was the way that the kings used to eat.
What if your back's like up against the back of the chair?
No, that's not leaning though.
Okay.
Isn't leaning like if I go like this, right? Right? Like this, and I drink a Pepsi or something, that's haram. It's my left hand
Why
anyway,
would you
so.
do that? It's so inconvenient to eat like that.
Yeah. It's a stretch.
I'm not gonna say who I was in and out with one of my brothers. He was like, "Look at me, I can eat with both hands." I said, "That's actually
Actually, it's not. Take
Did he yell out?
I'll find it out. Because it wasn't. I didn't memorize it from there. It's from Riyadh al-Salihin. It's something to the nature of inna nuhina and na'kula muttakiyan. But I'll get it right now, inshallah. Tell you, whose book is that?
Mine. Is it true that if someone doesn't say the prescribed dua before he enters inside his wife, that the shaitan will take part in their relation?
That's the whole part of the dua is to keep that from happening. So to avoid that, then yes, you should definitely make that dua. You take partakes in the kids, in the issue of the kids, because that's the protection of the kids when the child is conceived in the womb of the mother. The Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a protection for that kid. What?
عندما الجيش اليمني أن يخرج من اليمن حتى ينصر المسلمين أو ما أدري المهدي عندما يروحون إلى مثلا عند إيران أو ما أدري وين هل هم يحاربون يعني الجيش حق السفيان والإيراني أو يتحالفوا مع الإيراني ضد السفيان.
Again.
عندما الجيش يخرج من أبو العدن أبين حتى ينصرون المسلمين.
It's not clear because the hadith after that, the hadith is between the Muslims and the Romans, and the Muslims will be fighting together. There's going to be a sulh between the Romans and the Muslims, and then they'll be fighting together a shared enemy. And once they get rid of that enemy, Then after that, then khalas, they're gonna fight each other. So who that enemy is, Allah knows best. Huh? But I'm saying you're talking about the people that come out of Adab. I don't know who they're fighting. But I'm saying there's another narration where you got the 10,000 people that come out of Medina. So they're gonna be in. So obviously those maybe Allah knows best if those 12,000 have become 10,000 because they've been fighting all the way till they get to Medina or not. Allah knows best. You understand? So those that come out of Medina, they're gonna be fighting with the Romans. Shared enemy. They're gonna have a sword between them, and they're gonna fight together. You know, and you can see that. You can see it building up. You know, and because right now the Western world, which is Rome, and they've been saying this. In fact, a lot of people have been publishing about this on Twitter, where the guy that runs Twitter, I'm not gonna say his name on here, has constantly been referring to America as the new Roman Empire. So Allah knows best.
What's that mean?
That America is the new Rome, new Roman Empire.
Also, so in the hadith, does it mean the Rome, or does it mean, or can it mean another Rome?
It means whatever Rome is at that time.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah. All right. So in Abi Juhayfa, Wahab ibn Abdullah qala qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam la akulu muttakiyan. He said, I don't eat muttakiyan. This is in Bukhari. All right. On Anas qala ra'aytu Rasulullah sallallahu jalisan. You know, that's a whole different thing. I mean, you just eat jalis. The ulama, most of them, like what you see is that they don't make it haram, but they say it's makruh. It's makruh to do that. And the person shouldn't eat it. I mean, there's other narrations, inshallah, I'll bring them. As Sun Riyadh al-Salihin. If I'm not mistaken, I put it in the daily hadith.
Isn't there a hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, I think, in Riyadh al-Salihin? There's a hadith, I'm not sure if it's in Bukhari and Muslim, I think it's Sunan Abi Dawud. The Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, من حلف بملة غير الإسلام كاذبا متعمدا فهو كما قال. So if someone says, as many ignorant people say when they debate a Christian, well, if you can prove to me where Jesus in the Bible says I am God, I will become a Christian. Does he become a kafir? Does he become a Christian by saying that according to the hadith or no?
I mean, that's the condition. So, but he should avoid that. He should avoid that. But that's not a halaf though. He didn't do a halaf later. That's like saying, you know, yahlaf with another millah. So he's not doing that. There's no halaf there. I mean, unless he says wallahi, wallahi. That's sinful anyways. You can't make a halaf for something that's not permissible. So people like that, they need to fear Allah. Because you can't say, like, for example, if you can, wallahi, I swear by Allah, if you show me in the Bible this, I'll become a Christian. How are you going to make a halaf and change your religion to something that you know is batil in the first place? You know?
I heard first from in the past, I heard like هذا والله لو كان هذا لو كان هكذا أنا يهودي.
No, that's jahl. That's jahl. That's jahl. That doesn't take the person out of Islam. So it makes them sinful. It makes them stupid.
Abdullah says, some of the brothers who have been asking who is the wali of a woman convert if none of her family is Muslim and she lives in Bilad al-Kuffar.
Sultan.
But you know she lives in Bilad al-Kuffar.
Okay, the person who's a sultan. You don't have a sultan, the judge. So who's gonna have the most knowledge of that person, of that area? Who's gonna have? See, the thing is that these affairs should be going into the hands of the people of knowledge, not into a bunch of ignoramuses. All right, people who have no knowledge, people who don't even like sit in the classes when we're teaching this information. They shouldn't have anything to do with this. This should always be in the hands of the people with knowledge. This issue of marriage should never, ever, ever be in the issues of people who don't understand what? Surah Al-Fatiha. All right, that's that. Khalas. So that's, period. You got people who have never studied Islam a day in their life. You know, and if they did say that they studied it with people that are just as ignorant as they are, then no, that doesn't count. And they definitely haven't studied these ahkam. They haven't sat through these books. They don't know the different understanding of like what the ulama say. As we're going to see with this issue about the khula, you're going to see how you first off you saw how complex it is. First off, but now when we go and look at the hadith and which are the hadith are correct and which are not correct, then you're going to start to see how it's not an issue for a bunch of jokers that don't have any knowledge of the religion to be taken on. Akhi, that's Jahannam. You understand? That is a free ticket to hellfire. Messing with this deen and you have no knowledge, Akhi. So you find a person that has the most knowledge, that person becomes a sultan because he's the person who can deal with that issue correctly. And you sit down with them, like the biggest issue that a lot of the people do, and I've seen it here so many times, is that they bring the girl to get married. And they said, now she needs a wali. Akhi, the wali is established first and foremost. You've been sitting here hanging out with the girl, chit-chatting with the girl. Now you're like, probably going out with her, doing who knows what you've been doing with the girl. And now you bring her to the masjid and say, oh, now we're going to get married. You be the wali. Yeah, akhi, that's some crackhead business right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff. That's the whole post. That's crackhead affairs. That's not Islam. It's not Islam. The very first thing that you establish is the wali. And that's why I tell the people these matrimonial services and all this stuff, haram. Because what are you doing? You're going and you're chatting with the girl. You want to get married. Then you go talk to the wali. Then you establish the wali. What type of chaos is this? Type of fawda. This religion is not a religion of do what you want. It's not a religion where crackheads can come up here and start making rules and regulations because that's what this is what they learned when they were a kid. No, this is not how it works. We don't care about your culture from your countries. We don't care about none of this stuff. We care about the Quran and the Sunnah. The wali is the first person who's established. If she's a Muslimah, then that's it. All right. So all this participating in all of this type of behavior is nonsense. It's nonsense. And that's what I'm saying. That's the type of stuff we need to be waging war on. Because if we're not even fixing the marriages, akhi, what type of barakah are we going to have? Sitting here, we're disobeying Allah in the marriages. We're disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every other thing that we're doing. Nah, this gotta cease, man. That's gotta cease. And then the problem is the person who comes and tries to teach the people this, they run them out. They run them out because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the truth. Because like I said, if a lot of people went and looked at their marriages, they're going to realize that their marriages are invalid. They're invalid. The vast majority of people, especially the American marriages. I guarantee you, we went around and went from marriage to marriage and started doing taftish, which is like investigating the marriage. You're going to find out that the vast majority of American marriages are invalid.
Wow. Alhamdulillah, mine is valid.
You go up, like for example, you go and commit fornication with a girl. You're a Muslim. She's not. But then you say, hey, you enter Islam, I can marry you. So she enters into Islam, she gets her sins forgiven. You don't. It's not permissible for you to marry her. But they get married anyways. Like this type of stuff, like, nah, we don't partake in this type of nonsense. Like I said, if the issue's not clear, and anybody that had a sense and studied with the ulama and had knowledge will not partake in any of these types of marriages. They're going to make sure, they're going to investigate first to make sure that the marriage is valid and everything is correct. So long as time.
What if he makes Toba and they separate? You haven't fornicated.
Yeah, he's got to make sincere Toba. He can't be making sincere Toba, still talking to her, still hanging out with her. He separates. He completely separates. He goes off in his own little room, makes sincere Toba, and he feels that he's fulfilled all the conditions of Toba, and then he's not considered a Zani anymore, then khalas, then he can go back and marry. He can marry her, inshallah.
You give Islam a very bad image. You go after a non-Muslim girl, and you have a relation with her, and she knows you're Muslim. You give Islam a very bad image.
Yeah, a lot of brothers.
There's a lot of marriages like that, akhi, all throughout the U.S., akhi, all throughout the U.S.
And that's one of the reasons why a lot of the shabab here, they don't talk, they don't like me. It's because I called them out. I said, you guys have Muslim names, and you guys are the only ones talking to the girls. whenever they hear a Muslim name, they think about you. And I started, the more I would speak, the more louder I would get.
Yeah.
Because I was just lit it up. I said, how the heck, like, you guys have, I'm not saying that, I'm just giving you, like, you guys have names like Isa, Abdullah, Muhammad, and you guys are talking, you guys are talking, oh, wow, that's haram. And I said, at least just change your Instagram name to something else. Just put it as, like, I don't know, Ray Hernandez or something, like.
Stephen Thompson. Was it?
No, like literally, Ibrahim asked my question. I was literally about to ask the same exact question.
What else?
Striving Slave says, I heard someone say that if a woman is abused or mistreated, she doesn't have to return the money back for khula.
No, the khula is a condition that she has to return the money.
Brother Hamid says, one of the brothers told me yesterday that a while ago that he wanted to be a Zahiri, apparently. That's where he found your name.
What's that again?
Like, Hamid saying, it's not even a question. He said that one of the brothers told him yesterday that he wanted to be a Zahiri, I think from the madhab of Ibn Hazm.
We don't follow any type of madhab. And we benefit from everybody. Ibn Hazm, there's beneficial things and there's things that you got to watch out for. Ibn Hazm's book Al-Muhalla is a very beneficial book. It's a very, very beneficial book. So is Al-Mughni, so is Al-Uml al-Imam Shafi'i, so is Al-Madawanat al-Kubra. So we don't restrict ourselves to only saying that we're only going to follow the opinions of this sheikh. That's chaos. The only person that we're going to limit ourselves to is we're going to limit ourselves to the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But then still we have to go back to the ulama to understand these hadiths. I mean, how are we going to understand them? And here we are, 1,000+ years later, trying to understand this stuff. So we go back. We don't limit ourselves to just say, okay, I'm going to be a Zahiri and I'm only going to take the opinions of Ibn Hazm wa amthalahu. We benefit from Ibn Hazm. We benefit from Shawkani. We benefit from Ibn Qudama. We benefit from Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmed, and, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. We benefit from all of them. We take from wherever, there's benefit, we benefit. We look at the opinions and we try to see what's the closest and strongest opinion in proximity to the hadith and to the narration. And that's what we do. So there'll be times I'll sit there and I'll take an opinion that's a Maliki opinion. There'll be times that I'll take a Hanafi opinion. Might not be as much, but it will happen. It'll definitely be very, very limited, but it will happen from time to time. It's justice. We're just. We don't just limit ourselves to just like, I'm only going to follow this sheikh. Who told you had to do that? Who's the one that commanded you to do that? Did you find out in the Quran and the Sunnah that you're going to limit yourself to just to follow the opinions of this only one sheikh? So then you got the same thing with the people today. They're only going to follow the same the opinions or the statements of Sheikh Rabi'. We respect Sheikh Rabi'. We love him for all of the khidmah, but you're going to sit here and say that only what he says is what you're going to follow? He's never made any mistakes. And they say, of course he's made mistakes. Name one mistake that he's made. They can't answer it. I can tell you, Sheikh Yahya, I can tell you mistakes that he's made and he's made tarajah from. I can tell you that. He's my Sheikh. I'm not going to sit here and blind follow him. I can tell you mistakes he's made and, the things that he's taken back. I've watched it in from my own eyes. I've watched him take those things back. But the people, they blind follow, akhi. If you can't sit here and say the mistakes of your sheikh, and know and do that, then you don't have any type of tamyiz. Then you shouldn't be talking. You should not be giving dawah. Because you're just a blind follower just like everybody else. So you just go sit in the masjid and be with all the blind followers and just do your business and leave. But the people that should be teaching, the people are the people that they don't have that limitation on them. I'm not going to limit myself to just like, okay, I'm only going to take the opinions of Imam Shawkani and Amir Sanani. No. They got things right, they got things wrong. For example, like Imam Shawkani with the takbirat of Salat al-Eid. His opinion in Nail al-Awtar and the Darari for the takbirat of Eid, what? The 7 takbirat, including the takbirat al-Ihram. You go to Subul al-Salam and you read the same issue from Amir al-Sanani, and he's like, no. The hadith is talking about the 7 takbirat of sunnah. It's not talking about the takbirat al-ihram. So when I prayed Eid in Jacksonville, I told him, I said, I'm going to do the takbirat al-ihram, and I'm going to do 7 takbirat after that. Because that's the sunnah. So that's the opinion of Amir al-Sanani. And I love Imam Shawkani. I benefit from his books, but like issues like that, they come up, I'm like, nah, I'm not with you on that one. And that's how we do it. I'm not going to just sit here and blind follow him. If I was going to blind follow somebody, it would be like Amir al-Sanani, Amir al-Shawkani, not Amir Imam al-Shawkani, not Amir al-Sanani, Imam al-Shawkani. But because of the amount of things that they got, on point. They got it on point. And that's why you see that a lot of the ulama in later days, even the Shinqiti, rahimahullah, go read Adawal Bayan and see how many times he quotes from Nail al-Awtar. I was shocked. I was actually shocked at the amount of times that he quoted from Nail al-Awtar. And that's Shawkani's book. Because he hit the target with a lot of things. But does that mean that we take we take everything from him? No. It doesn't mean he got everything right. Shawkani, he might have seen a hadith that was, in his eyes, was sahih. So he built a hukam on that. You'll see that a lot in Darari. And then you're like, nah, not with you. That hadith is not authentic. Or that specific narration is not authentic. Or with this, the ziyada is not authentic. And he took it, And he took it and he made an opinion based on a hadith that's da'if. We're going to agree with him. We're going to blind follow him just because what? Well, we love his books and we love his, no. Or just because I studied in Yemen, I'm supposed to take from everything from the scholars of Yemen? No, that's not right. So we try to benefit from everybody. There's a lot of ulama, alhamdulillah. The ulama are not just relegated to Yemen, and they're not just relegated to Saudi. There's ulama all over the world of the sunnah, but they're known and unknown. So whatever we find benefit, we benefit. Whatever is good, we take it. Whatever is incorrect, or we deem is like not in accordance to the Quran and the sunnah, we leave it and discard it. Khalas. That's it. It's simple.
Striving Slave says, how much responsibility does a father have with teaching the deen if he is too busy going out and providing?
Nobody is too busy. If you're too busy going out and trying to provide for your family without spending time with your family, then you got your priorities messed up. Your family is your number one priority. Your religion, first off, is your number one priority. Making sure that you yourself, ku anfusakum wa ahlikum naran. That's your responsibility. To protect yourself and protect your family from the hellfire. So if you're working so much that you can't even study the most basics of your religion and learn the basics of your religion and practice the most basics of your religion, then you got your priorities messed up. And nothing in this dunya is worth working for to that point where you sacrifice the next life. And then on top of that, you're working so much trying to get money just to do what? What are you trying to do? Send your kids to what? Private schools with these kuffar? Are you trying to send them to college with the kuffar? And you don't want to give them a proper Islamic education. You don't want to, so your priorities are messed up. Your priorities are backwards.
Because if you're not home with your kids, you don't spend time with them, someone else will raise your kids.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole point. You should have gotten a good wife who, is, knowledgeable, at least basic knowledge of Islam, who could teach the kids when you're in your absence. Because it is a reality that you have to go out and work and do things, but that should not be your whole entire life to the point where you have no time with your family. Come on, man. Your priorities are messed up. Your priorities, and that's just going to make you unhappy. You're going to spend time with your kids when they're like 35 and you're 65, and it's like you're retired now. Now you're going to sit there and say, okay, kids, this is what I wanted to teach you 35 years ago.
That's how you change a light bulb. Like, yeah, we know this.
Is Mujahid debating someone online?
I don't know, is he?
Because he just beating the keyboard, like he's beating up the keyboard.
I don't know.
I think it's just the mouse.
I think he's just
Minecraft. He said he's playing Minecraft.
I don't know what he's doing.
debate on Minecraft.
No, you do it like this.
That fly worm.
Wait, 2 questions. How important is it if someone wants to become an alim to memorize lines of poetry?
The poetry is very important. I mean, whether you memorize it or not, I mean, that's all the ulama used to memorize poetry. So it's just part of just, I mean, how could you not? The three things that you should be memorizing: the Quran, the Sunnah, and Arabic poetry. Old Arabic poetry, not this new stuff. Not this Ahmed Shawqi stuff, but go back and memorize poetry from the Jahiliyyah. Memorize poetry from like Jarir. Jarir's got strong poetry. I'm reading his diwan right now. His poetry is strong. Strong.
Or the
What are you looking for? Huh?
لغة
I think it's good.
the Nuniyya of Ibn Qayyim. What was that?
Al-Qahtani or Ibn Qayyim?
Ibn Qayyim. It's called Nuniyya, but it's called.
No, but that's a religious poetry. I think they're asking about Arabic poetry from Jahiliyyah, like the old classical Arabic poetry. I'm not talking about like poems that ulama wrote to for knowledge. That's not what they're talking about, because that would just be referred to as matun. We don't consider like Alfiyat ibn Malik as a poem from the Arabic poetry. We consider that a metin and nahu. But we talk about classical Arabic poetry. Imr al-Qais, Zuhair, Tarafat ibn Abd, Antara, Amthalahum. And then after Islam, and you got like I said, Jarir probably got some of the strongest poetry. So you got later on, you got Mutanabbi, Abu Firas al-Hamdani, stuff like that. That's the Arabic poetry.
Why is it in Arabic poetry that we say the last haraka after each line?
Because it's al-Qafiyah.
Qafiyah?
Yeah, that's the miza of Arabic poetry, because that's where the rhyme is. The rhyme is on that last letter, which is the Qafiyah. And you see, that's the beautiful thing of why Fairuz Abadi, I don't know if this is why he did what he did, but it makes sense if this is why he did what he did. But Fairuz Abadi, when he wrote Laqamus al-Muhit, he wrote it on the last letter of the word. So if you wanted to look up dhahaba, where would you look it up? Bab what? No, you look it up in bat. Because he put the word, you look it up on the last letter. So when you go to Kitab Bab al-Bat, you're going to get all the words that have Bat as the last letter of the word. And then from there, then you look it up from the Huruf al-Hijaiyah, from Alif Bat, what they call al-Abjadiyah. Alright, why do they call it Abjadiyah? Because Alif, Ba, Jim, Dal, it goes in order, like alphabetical. So they call it al-Abjadiyah. So then you look it up, so you want to look up Dhahaba, you look up Ba. You go to the chapter on Ba. And then from Ba, then you're going to look up Dhal. You're going to go down to the Dhal, and then you'll find Dhahaba. You look it up in order from there. But they're going to find all the words.
You finish. Have you read Kitab al-Hayawan, للدميري?
Kitab al-Hayawan lehu?
للدميري.
I don't know about that. No, Al-Jahad has one. I don't know.
Al-Jahad. للدميري. I know Sheikh al-Aslim, he mentioned just a story in the past, and he mentioned that book, Kitab al-Hayawan.
I don't only know. I thought it was, look it up, see who. You find the questions. But I remember, I thought it was a Jahad that wrote it. But you might be right. I'm pretty sure. Could be right. Go ahead. What's the next question?
Jakarta says, a person told me that their potential spouse claimed that most Indo-Salafi du'at are not true Salafis.
Indo-Salafi du'at, what do you mean?
They meant that like Indonesian Salafis. Du'at are not true Salafis, and mentioned a name they consider to be real Salafis in Indo meat.
I mean, what is their criteria for a true Salafi? What is it? I mean, when people make that type of statement, and you have to ask them, like, what is your criteria for that? All right, there's two, right? Let me see. I only see the one for Jahad. I don't know. This is Kitab al-Hayawan. That's by Al-Jahad. But there might be another one. I don't know. There might be another one. So I don't know. You have to look for it. But that's probably one of the. Al-Jahadi is the one who wrote Al-Bayan wa Tabyin, which is according to Ibn Khaldun, one of the major books. Like if you're gonna read poetry, like Arabic poetry, and just read it. And I posted this on Telegram before. So Ibn Khaldun, he mentioned that these are like the asas. You have Al-Kamil, Al-Mubarrad. And Mubarrad, he wrote a book, it's called Al-Kamil. And they have a print for this book, it's in Al-Mu'assasat al-Risala. They printed it. So you can find that print. I don't know. I have it back there, but I think I had a second print, but I don't know where it's at. But anyway, so maybe they didn't send it to me. Do you think they sent it to me? I don't know. I think the one that I have back there is Mu'assasat al-Risala. So you got Al-Kamil, Al-Mubarrad. You got Al-Amali, Al-Qali. Alright, you have Adab al-Katib, Ibn Qutayba. And you have Al-Bayan wa Tabyin, Al-Jahil.
You said Al-Katib before that?
Adab al-Katib. Adab al-Katib. That's Ibn Qutayba.
Adab al-Katib and what else?
Huh?
And what else? Last one?
Al-Bayan wa Tabyin. Al-Jahil.
And these are just poetry, not like sound poetry.
No, these are Adab.
Oh.
So it's not just poetry. It's poetry. It's speech of the Arabs from before. So this is how you get the real, pure understanding of the Arabic language. And you get lisan al-Arab.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you got to get, yeah, of course, because you want to be looking up these words. Zamakhshari, he actually has a book, it's called Asasul Balagha. Asasul Balagha, but it's a dictionary. It's not, I believe it's, look it up. The name of the book is, I think it's, because Zamakhshari's book is Asasul Balagha. What's his name? Jurjani's book is Asrar al-Balagha. So it's two different books. Asas al-Balagha is a dictionary. It's a dictionary put together by Zamakhshari for all the stuff that you find in the poetry. But you really want Qamus al-Muhit and you want Lisan al-Arab.
Yeah, Zamakhshari.
That's just a dictionary. Even though it's called the Foundations of Balagha, because obviously the Foundations of Balagha is to understand. You have to understand the meanings of these words. You know?
What I do, that benefit. I'm saying this for the YouTube community kind of. Like when I drive, I listen to poetry, and that's where I learn new words that come to me. I remember I even noticed when I'm on the phone with my mom, sometimes I start speaking like the guy in the poem. Like I'll just take words from it. Well, the biggest thing that the people can get if they want to get started with that is a book that's by that sister Kamila al-Qawari. Huh? No, she wrote a 5-volume explanation. Bring me one of those volumes, I'll show it to them. You know it. If you go back in the back of the library, in the back room, there's a 5-volume, you'll see it's white. It's 5 volumes, it's got funky colors. Each volume has a different color. Bring just any volume, it doesn't matter. But she wrote an explanation of the Diwan al-Sitti al-Jahili, which is the Diwan. This was written by I forgot his name, but he's from Andalus. So what he did is he took 6 of the most famous poets from the Mu'allaqat, which there's 7. There's actually 7, but why he took 6, I have no idea. And he took 6 of their poems, like their Mu'allaqat, and then he took a lot of their poetry and just made this big diwan, this huge diwan. And this is the major book. This is what the kids, they memorize in Mauritania. They start memorizing this book first as children. So then they just keep memorizing it until like eventually they got the whole entire book memorized. So this woman, this sister, and I think she's in Qatar. Her name is Kamila al-Qawari. And she wrote this book, which is the Sharh of the Shu'ara Sitta al-Jahili, which is from that diwan. So can they see that? I don't know. Look.
Objective?
Huh?
Rather than objective?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have 2 copies of this, but Safe took one of them. I told him, I said, I'm going to give it to you because this book is too important. This is, you can get this on Sifat al-Safwa right now. If you're in America, you can get it on Jarir. It's 5 volumes. I bought it from Jarir. So I thought they lost my copy in Jacksonville. So I bought another one here. Then they sent the copy from Jacksonville, so I gave it to Safe. But this, she breaks it down. So
Adab.
she breaks down. Now the thing is that this is only the 6, right? Now there's actually 10 mu'alaqat. There's 10. There's 7 that are thabit, like la shak fiha, like sahih. But then you got other ones by like Nabila and all these. They are poems from these individuals, but they're not authentic, or whether or not it was mu'allaqa, that it was hung on the Kaaba in the time of Jahiliyyah. So she took in the last volume, in the final volume, she explained the other mu'allaqat that were left out of this book. So she did a great service in this book, and she broke down every single poem, word by word. Like I said, 5 volumes. Daughter Ibn Hazm. That's a beautiful print. You see how clear it is. Like, look at that. Like, you see how nice that is. You trying to convince my son to come off his book or what? But like that right there, that's the best to get you started. Because a lot of these, you have a lot of different people that have done explanations of the mu'allaqat, but they've really been mukhtasar. And they're not for us because we're stupid, right? They're for like people like 700 years ago when the people still have brains or knew how to use them at least. Or hearts that knew how to use them. Yeah, shut up. Everyone's sitting here like, being entertained by cats chasing flies. So Allah Musta'an. Yeah, watching TikTok. Any more questions? Man, put the book down. Look at it later.
If you don't want the book, I know someone who does.
His name is Hamza.
I'm just mentioning it.
Please get that book away from Hamza.
But I'm just mentioning it for the benefit. And one time someone asked Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, like, is the aql, is it in the heart or is it in the mind? He said, well, let's bring this guy and let's slaughter him and let's find out if he keeps moving. Like, if he doesn't move, then his mind is in his head. Something along those lines. But,
Maybe you can convince him to give up his book.
does he read it?
Man, I gave him like about 30 books, like doubles. So he's got so many books in his room, he doesn't even know what to do with them right now. But he loves Arabic poetry. That's why I gave that one to him. So that might be a hard one for him to let go.
Regardless, they were saying, then they told this person to only listen to students of Sheikh Yahya. This person, being new to Salafiyya, was very confused and started asking me about the hal of this sheikh and that sheikh, but I don't know any better. Is the approach of the potential spouse correct?
To only listen to Sheikh Yahya, again, that's Sheikh Yahya would not be pleased with people saying that. And we know that for a fact. How can you tell a person to only, again, this is against anything that Sheikh Yahya teaches. Only listen to Sheikh Yahya. What about Sheikh Salih Fawzan? What about the old, recordings of Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen? What about other ulama? Come on, man. So I don't understand the question, but that's definitely not correct. To only listen to Sheikh Yahya. When we talk about what's going on, even in Yemen, akhi, we don't only listen to Sheikh Yahya. You got Sheikh Abdul Hamid, you got Sheikh Abu Bilal, you got Sheikh Rashad al-Dali'i, you got Sheikh Fath al-Qadasi, you got Sheikh Abdul Karim al-Hajuri, which is Abu Amr. You got so many different people, akhi. I mean, you got Sheikh al-Hussein al-Hatibi. So it's like, even us, we don't just listen to Sheikh Yahya. And not everybody's going to have the same opinion on every single issue. So Allah Musta'an, But to say only, nah, man, that's, but there's no doubt, as far as among the students of knowledge in Yemen, that Sheikh Yahya is definitely the most knowledgeable. And if there's one person that I can say in Yemen, if you are going to listen to him, but still, there's other people that are benefiting the people and still calling to the Sunnah. So.
Does the hadith about the prohibition of making announcements for lost belongings in the masjid also mean that we cannot actually search for an item that's lost in the masjid?
Search for it, just don't announce it. Because the hadith, it didn't say man bahatha, it said man nashada. You know, the hadith of Abi Hurairah, من رأيته أن ينشد ضالة في المسجد فقل لا ردها الله عليك. So I mean that's an inshad. You know, the inshad, it means that you're calling out to the people, hey, I lost my phone. Has anybody seen my phone? Has anybody? Go search for it. And a lot of the masajid, they have a lost and found, which is outside of the musalla, the prayer area. You go to the office of the imam and ask them if anybody brought that something to you. But you're not going to go out to the musalla, to the prayer area where the people are praying, and say this. And you know, this was one of the first issues that came up, man. Allah yarhamu, Allah yarhamu. The Ishaq's son. You know, remember when Ishaq brought his son to me, and he said, tell my son, tell him. You know, and he brought his son to me and said, my son, he lost something in the masjid, and he's going around asking the people, where is this thing? He said, what is it? I said, you know, la raddaha Allah alik. And I told him that. And I said, may Allah not return it to you. And his Ishaq got all happy. He's like, see, I told you. You know, he's telling his son, I told you, don't announce it. You know, his son was the one that died in the car crash in Jacksonville. And I put the dedication to, you know, in the book. Not dedicating the book, but in acknowledgement, because I was writing the book when he got killed. So yeah.
Which one?
His brother in Jacksonville.
No, which book?
All right, I don't know which one. Bring all my books and let me see where it is.
Seeking knowledge?
It wasn't the Seeking Knowledge one. I think it might have been was it the Ikhtilat one, or it was either that or Daily Hadith. Look at the beginning of Daily Hadith. It might have been the Ramadan book. Go on the shelf. We got all the books down there on the English bookshelf.
Sorry, I accidentally skipped the question. Mudassir Khan says, should I say that azan and iqama?
No. On the English bookshelf in the other room.
What was the hadith again?
No, it's not a hadith.
Oh,
It's acknowledgments.
acknowledgements.
Like way at the beginning of the book.
In the introduction?
Before.
Oh. First I read in Los Angeles, I began 2000. I met Abu Mujahid, Farid Abdullah.
Now that was for Daily Hadith was for Farid. I think I was compiling that and he died at that time. So it had to be it might have been the Ramadan book. This brother died before Farid. What's the question?
Should I pray? One of his names is Mudassir Khan says, should I pray the azan and iqama when I pray alone in the house, such as when it is raining and I cannot go to the masjid?
If you live in an area where the adhan is called in the masjid, you have different masajid. And in that area, the masajid, they call the adhan, and you don't need to call the adhan in your house, but you do have to call the iqama. But if you live in an area, like let's say that you live in some small town in Nebraska or something, like just an example, and there's no masjids in your town, and you're a Muslim, and maybe you're there visiting your family, and nobody's calling the adhan in that area, then you have to call the adhan.
So you do have to call the iqama?
Yeah, the iqama, yeah.
You praying alone?
Yeah. Ikhtilaf, but yeah.
So is the adhan from kifaya?
No, I know what happened. Maybe I didn't put the dedication in this. I don't know. Did you check the Seeking Knowledge book? Because this was, I wrote Ishaq's name in that book, but not about the son. It must have been the Seeking Knowledge book, then I don't know. Let me see. Or maybe I put it in one of the other books that I didn't print. Like I wrote it, I put it in the acknowledgments, but it's one of the books that we haven't published yet. So that might be it. What's the next question?
Is the Adhan Fard Kifaya?
Huh?
The Adhan is a Fard Kifaya?
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably that. Probably put it in another book that we just haven't printed yet.
Striving Slave says, how important is it for Salafi to not speak at events with people in misguidance?
Very important, of the utmost importance. Salafi should never be involved in any of these types of conferences, any of these things where these people with misguidance are talking, because you're giving them, you're validating them, and we don't validate them. We don't need their platform. Whatever they have from wealth, whatever they have from whatever they're following, we don't need that. We don't. There's no need that we have for this. Our job should be going to the masajid, teaching the people the Quran and the Sunnah. And this is what people are not doing. I don't care about these. Like, that's why you don't see me. You're never going to see my name on some conference thing. Oh, Muhammad James speaking at this conference. Akhi, wallahi, I've lost my mind the day that you've seen that. The day you've seen that is the day that I've lost my mind. Know that I drank some bad Kool-Aid. If that happens. Yeah, I got some Kool-Aid from some voodoo witch, and now you see me up there, doing these speaking engagements. Nah, our job is to teach the people in the masajid. This conference stuff, anyways, is not a part of this. Is not what the Salaf used to do. We have a tazawur. We go and we visit each other in different masajid. We go up and you see brothers that come down here from Oakland or from San Diego, come up here from San Diego or wherever, and they come and visit. And we go visit them. Inshallah, we're supposed to go visit them. We're trying to go visit them, but something keeps coming up. We visited, but, we got to visit the brothers in Oakland. Got to visit the brothers all throughout America. That's our deen. But as far as having these conferences, especially speaking amongst these people that are known people of misguidance, Sufis and all these people, how are you going to sit there on a platform promoting people that think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is everywhere? Oh, brother, Allah is everywhere. And you're going to sit here and you're going to be on a platform, what, validating them? Are we calling to unity with people who are calling to misguidance? Akhi, we don't unify with this. So again, and this is not in our best interest, because it doesn't strengthen us as a ummah. It doesn't strengthen us as the people that are trying to follow the sunnah. This weakens us. It weakens us. So we don't seek validation from them, nor do we validate them. We don't need that. Wallahi, even if we sit here and call to the Quran and the Sunnah for 50 years, and all we've amassed of following is 5 or 6 people, 7 people, 8 people, so be it. There's going to be anbiya that come on the day of judgment, وَلَيْسَ مَعَهُ أَحَدٍ, as we studied in Kitab Tawheed, right? Did we take that back yet or no? We took it already, right? Yeah. وَنَبِيٌّ مَعَهُ رَحَبٌ وَنَبِيٌّ وَمَعَهُ رَجُلٌ وَرَجُلَيْنِ وَنَبِيٌّ وَلَيْسَ مَعَهُ أَحَدٍ. So look at this, from the anbiya. Are we better than them? So who cares about the numbers? The numbers is not about, it's not the important thing here. Family is not even, if the family wants to remain on misguidance, the family wants to go against the sunnah. Again, Nuh alayhi salam gave up his son. Lut alayhi salam, what? Left his wife. Left his own wife because she had shafaqah, she had sympathy with those Bati boys. So you know what I'm saying? So that the truth does not go about, if you see Nuh alayhi salam left his own son, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what? What did he say to Nuh? No, I'm saying, but innahu laysa min ahlik.
Oh.
He's not your son. He's not from your family. Your family is the believers. And we have the narration of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam where he said, what? Law sarakat Fatima bint Muhammad laqata'tu yadaha. If Fatima bint Muhammad would have stolen, I would have cut off her hand. So the truth does not get, we don't, no, man. We don't sacrifice the truth to do anything, to speak with nobody's platform. Actually, we don't need it. We sit here with whatever. We can sit here with 15 people, 20 people watching these videos, 15 people following us on social media. Actually, so what? But we don't need that. That's what the people do it for. The people do it because of what? The status. Oh, they're doing so much and they got this doubt. What type of doubt? What are they calling to? What of the people now? What is the result? How much of the religion do they know? Can you take their followers right now and start asking them simple questions about Islam and they can answer? So nah, man, we don't sacrifice that for like nothing, man. We don't speak on their platforms. We have no need to. We have no need to. And if we are going to speak on a platform, we are going to go to a conference of people of the Sunnah. The people that are on the correct Aqidah, the people that call the people to this deen the way that they're supposed to be calling. That's it. Anything else?
Oh yeah. I was reading. Oh no, it's not. I said, اسمه مع الكافرين. سورة الهود. No كان الكافرين. Someone says, which madhab are you from?
We already talked about that. I'm from the madhab of Quran and Sunnah. The madhab of the truth.
Question says, what should a woman do when her husband is an alcoholic and has abandoned her but is not given talaq or khula?
Go to the judge. Where is she at?
Doesn't say.
The man's refusing to give if he's refusing, and she goes to a person in authority. Personal authority, again, if she's in the West, that means a person of knowledge who knows how to handle these situations correctly. Not a person who's got a pistol or somebody that people are scared of, but no, a person who has knowledge and he can handle the situation correctly. Whether or not that's an imam in the masjid or that could be a brother that teaches people in his house. I'm not referring to myself. I'm just saying there are a lot of brothers around America that are forced to teach people in their house because the masjids keep running them out of the masjid. Because crooks and thieves. That's what they do. Well, crooks and thieves, that's kind of redundant. But you know what I'm saying. But so anyway, she goes to that person, and then he sits down with the brother, and if he, and if he doesn't give it, if he doesn't grant her the khullah, he's, I'm not saying that he has to force her to do it, force him to do it, but she still has to pay back the money that she took from the mahar. She has to still give him, they agree on the money that she pays to get, released from that marriage, and the judge in a Muslim country will make him do that. We don't have the authority in the West to make a person. All we can do is sit down and advise the person because we're not people of authority. Now, I can sit down with a brother and tell him like, look, akhi, this is what you should do. This is the money that you pay for the mahar. She's gonna pay the money back. She's gonna give the money back to you. Let her go. I can tell him to do that, but I can't make him do that. It's not my job to, I'm not a person in authority where I can take a man and tell him, I can give him advice based on Islam, but in the end, that's his wife. It's his wife, not my wife, not my authority. So I can't make him do it. But in Muslim countries, the judge can make him accept it. Make him like, okay, khalas, especially in this type of scenario where he's drinking. If he's not praying, and he's left Islam. I mean, if he's drinking and that drinking now has caused him to the point where he's neglecting his prayers and he's not praying, then she goes to the judge in a Muslim country and the judge will separate them completely. That's a fasq. Khalas. She doesn't need to give anything back because he's not a Muslim. If he's left Islam through his actions, then it's not permissible for her to remain with him. Period. It's not permissible. So in that case, then she has a choice. She could leave him. She could separate from him. And she could be patient and see if he's going to make tawbah. Or she could say, no, I want fasq. I want a complete nullification of the marriage. and then she can, khalas, the marriage is over, it's done. It's finished after that. It's nullified. You know, and if he later on comes back to Islam and starts practicing the deen, and then he wants to get married and she's accepting, then they can get married under a new contract later on. But the marriage is nullified. But if she wants to wait and see if he makes tawbah, then the marriage is still valid. The marriage is still valid. But she can't be with him until he starts practicing the deen. But the marriage remains, and Allah knows best.
Even if you left the salah.
Huh?
But if that's talking about if he didn't leave the salah. Right?
Prophet's daughter, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was married to a mushrik. And then he entered into Islam, and they remained on their same ahad. We're going to go over this, inshallah. I think we haven't gone over in Bulugh al-Maram or no?
We have.
We have, right?
We mentioned it before. But like she was married before Islam.
No, she was married before Islam, and she became Muslim. She made hijrah to Medina. He was a mushrik. Then he entered into Islam. Then he came to Medina, and they stayed under the same contract.
No,
But she chose that. She chose not to nullify the marriage. She said she's going to wait to see if he's going to enter into Islam. So she chose that.
I only said that so no one takes your words out of context. Like saying you, so no one says that you said that, like it's permissible for a Muslim woman to marry a mushrik man.
No, that was before Islam. No, that was a contract that they had before the revelation even began. She was already married. So no, that's not, no. And it's not permissible for a Muslim woman to marry a kafir, ever. That marriage is not valid, period. Doesn't matter. That marriage is not valid. If if they got married, the marriage itself is not valid. And let's say that during the marriage that he becomes Muslim, then they need to go and get married with an actual valid contract. But that marriage is not even valid. All right.
No question.
Good, because my stomach is yelling right now. Huh? You do?
Yeah, same
Yeah,
here.
my stomach. All right. All we're going to do is we're going to take the first hadith because the major issue is about this first hadith anyways. We're going to go over the rest of this, inshallah. The next class we'll take Sharia, but we'll come back to this, inshallah, in the class after that, inshallah.
What is what?
So, باب الخلق. عن ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنهما أن امرأة ثابت بن قيس رضي الله عنه أتت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقالت يا رسول الله ثابت بن قيس ما أعيب عليه في خلق ولا دين ولكني أكره الكفر في الإسلام فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ترديني عليه حديقته قالت نعم فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أقبل الحديقة وطلقها تطليقا رواه البخاري وفي رواية وأمره بطلاقها. This is the mushkila right here. Let me go over the hadith first and then we'll go over the issue. Alright, so here, so to go back to this part. So Ibn Abbas, he reported that Imrat Thabit ibn Qais, alright, that she went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there's difference of opinion because there's different narrations of this hadith, and some of the people say that, it was one woman, but it's just different wordings, and some of the people say, no, he had this situation more than once, and Allah knows best. As far as the wording of the hadith that he was beating her, that goes against, as you're going to see in this narration anyways, what she says about him. She says, O Messenger of Allah, Thabit ibn Qais, ma a'aybu alayhi fil khuluq wala din. So she says right here, I have nothing bad to say about him. I have nothing bad to say about him as far as his character and his deen. Alright, so there's nothing I can say bad about him. He's a good person. So does that sound like a man that was beating his wife? So for the people that narration is not correct. Alright, because as you can see, how is he going to be beating his wife? And then she comes up and says this is a praiseworthy statement that she said about him. She said, Ma a'aybu alayhi. Aib is a what? A deficiency. She said, I find no deficiency in him, not in his character, not in his deen. Alright, وَلَكِنِّي أَكْرَهُ الْكُفْرَ فِي الْإِسْلَامِ. So what does she mean here when she said, وَلَكِنْ أَكْرَهُ الْكُفْرَ فِي الْإِسْلَامِ? She's afraid that she's going to disbelieve?
No, be thinkless. Thinkless.
Yeah, the kufran and ni'mah. So she says, أَنَا أَكْرَهُ أَنْ أَكْفُرَ النِّعْمَةِ فِي الْإِسْلَامِ. The ni'mah is that, he's a good person, but I just don't like him. So I can't fulfill his rights. So what the issues that they had was not a deen issue. It's just personalities, So she's telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I can't give him his rights. I just can't. And I hate to be ungrateful. And after Islam has come to me, to be ungrateful. So this was her complaint. So the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Aturuddina alayhi hadiqatu." Are you going to give him back his hadiqah? So he gave her a bustan, a garden, as a part of what? This was the mahar. فقالت نعم. She said yes, I'll give it back to him. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أقبل الحديقة وطلقها تطليقا. I'll tell you, man. You know what we ate today? Did he send you the?
Oh, Asid. Yeah,
You saw it.
You didn't share it.
Huh?
You didn't share it.
You want some?
You sent it to me too.
You want some? It's cold now.
No.
Oh, I'll give you some cold asida.
No.
Is it good cold?
No.
No.
No. You made it?
I told him, I said, send him. I said, he didn't want to do it. I said, send Hamza the picture of the food while I'm cooking it. And then ask him, what do you think this is?
I understood what it meant right away.
Man, I got done with that. I felt like I just lifted. Like like sitting there stirring that stuff, man. That ain't easy, man. Making asida's a workout, dude. It's a workout. All right. So he said, what? Turuddini alayhi, what? Hadiqatu. Are you going to return it? She said, no. So the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أقبل الحديقة وطلقها تطليقا. So وأمره in another narration, وأمرها بطلاقها. So he said, accept the the garden, and divorce her. All right. So here's the issue. There's a Fath al-Bari. Oh, very, very old version of Fath al-Bari. So this is the issue. Is about what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her, divorce her. So this, and what do we say about the khula is what? It's a fasq, it's not a talaq. But if you look at this narration, you're going to say, well, this is in Bukhari. Right? This is in Bukhari. So this got to mean that it's a divorce, right? Well, this incident only happened, this is the only incident that we know of, right? So all the hadith, they go back to this incident. So if the wording is different, it's like, the issue about the kusuf of shams. All right? How many times did it happen in the lifetime of the Prophet? The kusuf, it only happened whether it was the sun or the moon. How many times did it happen in the lifetime of the Prophet? No, once. So now when you have different narrations about how he prayed, but he only prayed it one time in his whole lifetime. So how could there be different narrations about how he prayed? So what do you have to do? You have to go back to the most authentic narrations, and then that's what you're taking. And then you say that everything else is shad. All right, because it's going against the authentic narration. Now, if he prayed it 3 or 4 or 5 times, we could say, okay. But if he only prayed it once in his whole life, then that means there's only one way. All these hadith cannot be authentic, even at the chain of narration. So this is Bukhari. All right, so we're going to read where this hadith comes in Bukhari. All right, so حدثنا أزهر ibn Jamil, حدثنا عبد الوهاب الثقفي, حدثنا Khalid, and Khalid here is al-Hadda. Khalid al-Hadda, very important. Here he narrates from Ikrimah. Alright, and Ibn Abbas. So what does that mean? No. Bukhari, well, you're going to see in a second. So just remember that name. Khalid, and Ikrimah, and Ibn Abbas. Right? So this is what is this? This is Ibn Abbas. Alright, but this is the chain of narration. Alright, عن ابن عباس أن امرأة ثابت ابن قيس أتت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وقال يا رسول الله ثابت ابن قيس ما أعتب. Here it says أعتب. It doesn't say أعيب. ما أعتب عليه في خلق ولا دين ولكن أكره الكفر بعد في الإسلام. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أتردين عليه حديقته؟ قالت نعم. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أقبل الحديقة وطلقها تطليقا. قال أبو عبد الله لا يتابع فيه عن ابن عباس. Because he's saying that this is from the Marasil of Ikrimah. This is from the Marasil of Ikrimah, which means the hadith, this chain of narration is what? Da'if. And Bukhari is bringing this hadith here to show it. Next hadith. This is in Sahih Bukhari for the people that want to look it up. 5,273. Hadith number 5,274. حدثني إسحاق الواسطي حدثنا خالد. Wait, that's not Khalid though. That's different Khalid. And Khalid and Al-Hadda and Ikrimah. Now it's on Ikrimah, right? With no what? هذا just إكرمة. أن أخت عبد الله بن أبي بهذا وقال تردين عليها حديقته قالت نعم فردتها وأمره يطلقها وقال إبراهيم ابن طحمان and Khalid and Ikrimah and النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وطلقها. So here without Ibn Abbas, and this is why Bukhari is bringing these different chains of narration to show you that they are weak. They're propped up by the hadith as Sahih, which we're going to get to in a second. But these are from the Marasil of Ikrimah. Alright, as you see here, Ibn Abbas suddenly disappeared from the chain of narration. And then the first time that he mentioned Ibn Abbas, what did he say? La yutabi'. And Khalid al-Hada even said himself, shukku fi hadith Ikrimah. You know, in some of these ahadith, that, you know, because this is from his Marasil. Alright, so, hadith number 5275. When Ayyub ibn Abi Tamimah and Ikrimah and Ibn Abbas أنه قال جاءت امرأة ثابت بن قيس إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وقالت يا رسول الله إني لا أعتب على ثابت في الدين ولا خلق ولكن لا أطيقه. لا أطيقه means what? I can't stand him. I just can't stand him. I can't be around him. Alright. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فتردين عليه حديقته قالت نعم. There's no طلقها. Alright, that's another one. Alright. Now 5276. حدثنا محمد ابن عبد الله ابن المبارك المخزمي, because the writing here is really this is old school, man. So I'm reading this from an old school Fath al-Bari from the 70s, dude. So if I get the name wrong, it's because I'm trying to. Al-Mukharrami. حدثنا
It's not in Rajab's.
No, he didn't make it this. He died before it. Alright, حدثنا قراد أبو النور حدثنا جرير ابن حزم عن أيوب عن عكرمة عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال جاءت امرأة ثابت بن قيس ابن شماس إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقالت يا رسول الله ما أنقم على ثابت في الدين ولا خلق إلا أني أخاف الكفر فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فتردين عليه حديقته فقالت نعم فردت عليه وأمره ففارقها فأمره فإيش ففارقها. So does that mean طلقها? No. That means that it فسخ العقد بينهم. So here, and we have one more. This is 5277. حدثنا سليمان حدثنا حماد عن أيوب عن إكرمة أن جميلة فذكر الحديث and mentioned the other hadith. So there's a lot of the correct and most authentic narrations. They do not have the wording of what? طلقها. Right. So these narrations that have the divorce are from the Marasil of Ikrimah. Alright, and they're not authentic. The authentic narrations are the narrations فَفَرَّقَ بَيْنَهُمَا فَفَارَقَهَا that they, you know, فَأَمَرَهُ فَفَارَقَهَا. You know, with this wording. Those are the authentic narrations, and Allah knows best. So the marriage ends with a fasakh. And then that means that her iddah is what?
One period.
There's one period, and the man does not have a raja'. There's no raja'. It's over. It's done. There's خلاص انفسخ منفسخ تماما. So that's it. If he divorced her, then the divorce counts. There's an iddah. He could take her back. No, and that's it. It's over. Once she returns her mahar to him, it's over. It's done. All right. The divorce, she wouldn't have to return her mahar, would she? All right. So, any other questions? That's what we had to talk about tonight. So that deals with a lot of the issues where the people, because they use this and they say, well, this is in Bukhari. This is in Bukhari. No, there's not every single thing. Bukhari brought a hadith that he didn't agree with in Bukhari for that purpose to show you something. So he brought all those chains of narration together, as you see, for that purpose, to show that this is from the Marasil, and then he brought the authentic ones. So there you go.
ليس في سؤال. ليس في سؤال.
Wow, what a beautiful night, huh? وإلى هنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Safe.